Hi and welcome to another week, and a bit gloomy here. I'm seeing some lovely sunny aspects from various chatters who are saying they're in the sun, but relatively gloomy here, but pleasant enough. And looking forward to another week on the site. We're moving over to defence on this next fortnight. Defence in one no trump contracts, so it's going to be sticking with one no trump. Still very, very tricky contracts, but trying to look at it from the other perspective, which is perhaps even more interesting than looking at it from the declare play perspective. The seminar today, though, we're going to just finish off declare play and one no trump. What we're finishing off is talking about a strong no trump. So what I really mean is, for most of us, that means the auction. There's been a little bit of auction. So, for instance, a club or heart, one no trump. You're showing a strong no trump. Those of you who play a strong no trump, it will be when it goes one no trump, pass, pass, pass. Okay, so we'll look at that. Couple of things about the site as well. We're talking about forums, so we're going to add one more forum. And that is the Q Plus forum. So that's actually for anybody to partake in, but it'll be talking about some of the aspects in Q Plus that people have no idea about them. And one gentleman, Michael, who's often on here, I don't know if he's on today, Michael Allen, had talked about, I can't believe how many conventions there are. There's about 20 sheets. So he thought, why not? Why don't we have a look at each of those sheets in turn and have a chat about them, so anybody who wants to can go on the forum and chat about them. But you don't have to have Q Plus or anything like that, because it's basically talking about huge ranges of conventions, of which I don't know what half of them are. I'd have to look at them. There you go. There's Michael. You know, I have to look. I've got my Budge Encyclopedia up on just above me on the right here. I could take my microphone and bring it down. Oh, maybe I'll show you another day. A big tome, and I can look up any of the conventions in there if I've never heard of them. Of course, what he's doing, the programmer is coping with anybody. I mean, people might want to play a strong club, or they might want to do this, and what you see, it's difficult. So they're trying to cater for everyone. Most of us, of course, ignore most of what's there. And we're looking to develop the shop, so that's not just on the website, that'll be across the board, and by the end of the week, hopefully, we will have a working shop with the streamed DVDs and all sorts at the moment. All we've got is the ebooks still, which are on Amazon and can be used on Amazon. There are ebooks, and we've got 3 of them now. We have a third one. I'll show you a picture of me in another shirt, basically. And as I say, we're moving on to defence against one no trump on the site from after this seminar, basically. Okay, let's start off with what we usually do. So I'm going to show you something that some of you, let me work out when I've got to do that. Showing you something that some of you will have already seen from the Friday, and this is our hand evaluation hand. So have a look at this one, and obviously we will return to this later on in the live seminar. So here's your hand. You know, you've got to assess it and try to, I mean, how many points? So if you fully evaluate the hand, how many points are you going to regard the hand as? So clearly, for those of you who can't be bothered to count up, there are 14 high card points. Okay, there are 14 high card points, but it's your job to assess how you feel about this. Okay. Oh yeah, I mentioned to those of you for the Friday, yeah, apologies for the bad gateway that occurred there. I think most of you got on eventually, or some of you would have looked at it later. But that shouldn't happen again, I hope. And of course, on the Fridays, we are talking about week twos for the next 2 or 3 Fridays. Okay. Here, though, I want you to decide what the hand's worth. There's a few between 15 and 16s, good 15s, and I think that's going to be close. But we'll come back to it and decide how we are going to bid the hand. Okay, so let's go to our PowerPoint. I think I've got to find it now. I seem to have lost it. Is it there? Bang. Is it? Yes, found it. Okay, brilliant. So what we're looking at here is declare a player one no trump, but particularly strong no trump hands. Okay, and of course, as I say, what that means here, okay, what that means is that if we're playing the weak no trump, we'll be playing one no trump, okay, but it'll be after one something, one no trump, okay, all right. And obviously, if you play a strong no trump, it'll be just a one no trump bid from you. We're going to look at this from two perspectives. One, from the perspective of playing the hand, okay, but two, from looking at the idea of if you're playing in a field where a lot of people are playing a strong no trump and you're playing a weak no trump. So that'll be the second hand, and that's going to be interesting. So I want you to ignore the top of that. I forgot to change it last night because I noticed that was wrong. Okay, so don't worry about that one no trump overcall. That's the top of this particular slide is not of relevance. Okay, we looked at the one no trump overcall last week. Okay, but that's where you had a lot of information for your opponent, so that makes a big difference. Okay, so for when you play the one no trump overcall, that's what we did last week on a Monday, and of course we had a lot of information from the opponents. Okay, so here we're looking at when I've got a strong no trump and my partner's past me. So generally my partner is going to have 6 or 7 points, or even 5 if he's dredged up a response. And that means there's going to be very few entries to dummy indeed. So I want you to make the most of what you've got. And that's going to be important, okay, because you know, if you've only got one entry, bear in mind your opponents can see it, okay? Your opponents can see it. Okay, so let's look at an example. Here you go. So we'll go through the bidding first. So if you're playing a strong no trump, the bidding would go one no trump, pass, pass, pass. Playing the weak no trump, we would open a heart. It would be a one spade response. And you're going to rebid one no trump. Okay, and the reason you're doing that is because I'm not believing my hearts are that strong here. Okay, so I'm not adding a point on, so I would regard that as about 17. It's a good 17. Oh yeah, it's a good 17, but you know, I'm still just rebidding one no trump. Remember, in my system, one no trump shows 15 to 17 points. What we're doing is interchanging with the strong no trump system. So in the strong no trump system, they open one no trump and rebid one no trump with 12 to 14. We open one no trump with 12 to 14 and rebid with one no trump with 15 to 17. So here, obviously, East is going to pass that. He has nothing to say. So we finish in one no trump, and you get the lead of the 5 of diamonds. Ruben's got in there early by telling us there are 6 top tricks, and I'm prepared to agree with him. And Brian's then come in with early, noting there is an entry problem. And this is what I'm saying. A lot of the time, if you finish with one no trump and your partner's, you know, Suzanne Lisa was close there with acelessness, but of course it should have been ace kinglessness. Okay, ace kinglessness there. Okay, in fact, ace king tenlessness. So I'm losing it. So here, we've got to think about it. We've got 6 top tricks, but so often it's going to be, the emphasis is going to be on your lack of entries, and obviously the defenders are going to think that as well. And we're going to see that when we talk about defense on the website, that, you know, in our big seminar is going to be on defending against one no trump, and we will be at a C dummy and we'll be working against it. Okay. So we have 6 top tricks where we're going to make extra ones, hopefully from diamonds. I think the whole focus of this hand is going to be on whether you can get to dummy or not. Okay. And Brian's coming up with the right idea, I think. So there's a fair chance. I mean, the easiest thing here is probably to look at trick 1. So the first trick goes 5, you play small, and that's to the ace. I think the 2 might have changed into the 3 there, but I'm not sure. Anyway, let's pretend it didn't. So the ace of diamonds, and Obviously, the most obvious thing here, you just play the 8 of diamonds here. But because we are focused on trying to get to dummy, the idea of throwing the Queen of Diamonds away here. Now, as it happens, you've got the Queen, Jack, 10, 9, 8 of diamonds. So they are all the same. Can you see that? So you don't need your Queen of Diamonds. And the effect of dropping your Queen of Diamonds means that I think you definitely have an entry to dummy. Can you see the idea here? So, and I'll show this in precision by showing you the whole suit. But the key here is that if you play the 8 of diamonds, the normal play, the 8 of diamonds, I think that when you play the Queen, North could allow you to win that Queen of Diamonds, and you would not be very happy because you don't want your Queen of Diamonds to win. It's one of these strange things, because if your Queen of Diamonds wins, you're not going to make your Queen and Jack of Spades. Can you see the idea? Very, very difficult, okay? These 10, but in this particular kind of contract, so if you play a strong no trump and you get passed, obviously if you play a strong no trump, sometimes you'll have just 3 or 4 points in dummy. Okay, remember, if you're showing a strong no trump, if your partner's got 9 points, generally your partner's going to invite you to games, so you know he's got 8 or fewer. So, and very often even, I mean, a good 8 might try, so 7 particularly or fewer. Here, 6, there is only one possible entry. I say there's only one possible entry, apologies. Obviously in clubs you have the hope that North has the King of Clubs. Does anybody think that I've given North the King of Clubs? And if you do think I've given North the King of Clubs, you clearly haven't seen me setting hands before. Okay, so I think probably on this hand that South is going to have the King of Clubs, so that we're not going to get to dummy with the Queen. Obviously that part of our plan will be to hope that North has the King, but we're thinking beyond that. We're thinking if we can't get to dummy with the Queen of Clubs, maybe we can get to dummy in the diamonds. Okay, so it's just, I'll show you the full hand, but then what I'm going to do is show you the way the diamond suit is going to work. So in a sense, it's not that much of a surprise that South had a singleton ace, because North has chosen to lead the suit. Okay, so of course, an immediate diamond return from South would have been troublesome for us, but of course, South doesn't have a diamond to play. Okay, so here, South would have won the ace of diamonds and is probably going to switch to something. He may switch to a heart, but what's important is I think you're going to have to play your ace of hearts straight away there. So what I want to do is focus on the diamonds here, okay? So if they change to spades, we're going to get rid of our ace and king of spades. Okay, so let's just look at the diamond suit in isolation and just make sure we can all understand what I was trying to get across. So if we do the normal thing in diamonds and we play the 8 of diamonds, later on we're going to establish the diamond suit. Okay, I'll take there's none left in the South hand, so I've taken that away. If I play the Queen, remember, North's not on your side, and let's be honest, he would have played, you would have just played your ace king of spades, and North will be thinking to himself, oh, I wonder why De Clara played the ace king of spades and then didn't play the Queen and Jack. So he's going to be thinking that you need to get to dummy, so of course North is going to duck that diamond, and now he will win the next round, and I don't think you're going to get to dummy. Okay, now you could try leading the 10, but of course I think North's going to work out what's going on. His partner won the ace of diamonds and didn't play a diamond back. Now part of North was angry, but of course he doesn't get angry. What he does, he says, okay, why has my partner not led them back? And he works out that clearly if his partner had the ace queen doubleton, he would have won the ace and led the queen back. So he works out De Clara's got the queen, so he jumps up with his king now, and again you are cut off from dummy, because clearly your Queen of Diamonds wins, but you can't get to dummy. Okay, so the idea being, obviously if we play the ace and we play the Queen underneath the ace, now what can North do? When we lead the 10, if North ducks, we're able to overtake that with the Jack. So that is an extra trick to add to the 6 tricks we had counted. Okay, remember, with that jack of diamonds, if I take you to the full hand again there, that we would have just reached our queen jack of spades. Can you see that? So whatever south switches to after the ace of diamonds, we win the trick. We then play the ace king of spades, okay, and then try to get over to, excuse me, try to get over to the diamonds. And as long as we've thrown our queen of diamonds, we can do it. Now, that's not an easy hand, but whenever you've got a pile of rubbish in dummy, remember it is your job to make sure you do your best to find an entry. So you may be wasting a trick, but I think if you've got queen 10 and a small one, I think you should still be throwing the queen, because your plan is simply to get to dummy's queen jack of spades, because that's 2 tricks you're not going to make if you don't get to dummy. Okay, and North, as a defender, is on the ball as well. He is thinking, okay, as soon as the ace king of spades are played and Declarer stops playing spades, you're thinking, oh, it would be lovely if we could stop Declarer getting to dummy. If North gets the lead, of course, from North's point of view, a club lead is good news. And we'll talk about that when we talk about defending. Okay, the idea being that, excuse me, a lead through strength in dummy from North is quite a good lead. So obviously he doesn't know that, it looks like a frozen suit, but on this particular hand, because his partner's got king 10-9 of clubs, the jack of clubs will work beautifully and pin the queen. So the defenders could well take you down if they get everything right, if you fail to get to dummy. Okay, and you might finish with just 5 or 6 tricks because you don't make the queen and jack of spades. So it's all well and good counting your top tricks, but in the execution phase of the attitude, planning your play with attitude, with a W, don't forget, the execution phase is how, or entry phase is how you get from hand to hand. Okay, so that was one example where we're talking about not having much in dummy. This one is a slightly different one, and I'm using a strange term here, playing with strong no-trumpers. And I suppose the easiest example of when you might be playing with strong no-trumpers is if you fancy going to play a game on BBO, which is a random game. So let's say you're not playing at your local club game, or another example when we were playing in real life, as it were, is you go to Florida for a holiday and you decide to find one of the many big bridge clubs they have. They have bridge clubs in shopping malls in Florida, okay, with huge numbers of tables, and they're very welcoming, but of course they'll all be playing a strong no trump. Now that is important to bear in mind, because, and we saw this on last Wednesday's teams, where you end up in different contracts on certain hands, and it swings in roundabouts generally. You'll get some you gain on, some you lose on. The ones that the weak no trump can lose on is this kind of hand, and what I'm going to do is consider other tables. So here we are. Here is a hand, and clearly playing the weak no trump, we open 1 no trump, and we finish in 1 no trump. Now, playing in a normal game here at your local club, probably you're going to reckon 80-90% will play weak no trump, so most people are in 1 no trump. However, anybody playing a strong no trump is going to find their spade fit. So if I was playing in an American game or playing on BBO, where a lot of them play strong no trump, I'm going to expect most people to be in 2 spades on this hand. Can you see the idea? Okay, so let's just put the 2 auctions up. 1 no trump at my table, but at any other table playing a strong no trump, they're probably going to open their better minor. They're probably playing 5-card majors, so they'd open 1 diamond. They would get a 1 spade response, and 2 spades is likely to finish the auction. Okay, now, does it make much difference? Well, what's interesting in this one is that actually, really, you haven't got much hope. The only hope you've got, and this is the funny thing, because people always think, why would you ever want a bad break? Well, actually, I want a bad break in spades. So I'm not going to try and make extra tricks from spades in 1 no trump, because if I make extra tricks in spades, they will make, yes, they will make extra tricks in their two spades. So here they'll finish in two spades and they will make a heart ruff, for example. They'll just lose two diamonds, two hearts and spades. They might lose a diamond ruff. They may do, but often that will compromise the person's spades, okay? All right. You can play different systems. So here, my idea is basically all I think probably the correct way to play this contract is the same anyway, even if you weren't considering this. And what we're going to do, I hope, is we are going to count 5 top tricks and aim to establish our diamonds. We are not going to play on spades, because we really actually don't want spades to break. Now, some of you will be thinking, yes, but if spades, I mean, if the Queen and Jack of spades fall, I could have 4 tricks. The problem is it's very, very rare they will fall. Most of the time you will need to give a spade away. If you need to give a spade away to make your extra spade trick, so let's say the spades break 3 and 2, you give one away. By that time, they are likely to have possibly made their diamonds and their hearts. So that's 6 tricks. Sorry, probably 6 tricks and another one. So 4 heart tricks and 2 diamonds. And a spade, but even if they don't manage it, you're still only going to make 1 no trump. What we actually need here is the spades to break badly. And if the spades break badly, we end up getting a good score. And it's one of these things when you've got, so standard American includes a strong no trump and 5 card majors for anybody. So most Americans will be playing standard American, which is 5 card majors and a strong no trump. Some of them will play it with very few conventions. Some of them will play what's called SAYC, standard American with lots of conventions. Yellow card is the color of the convention card they use. And you will come across some playing 2/1 game forcing. Okay, and they will call it 2/1. That, in theory, if you want to get the gain of that, is a very, very complicated system, and it's not a sensible system to be playing at pairs bridge, because you can't finish in 1 no trump. Okay, so all I'm saying on this hand, my plan is to establish diamonds, and I'll just knock out the ace and king of diamonds. Okay. And hopefully by that time, yes, one of them might have 5 hearts, but more likely is that they might be able to make the ace, king, queen, jack of hearts and the ace, king of diamonds, but I will scrape home in 1 no trump. And I'm just simply hoping that they can't manage to make 2 spades, either because they managed, the opponents managed to play ace, king of diamonds in a diamond ruff, okay, or the trumps break badly. So the key on this hand is I don't want to play spades and find I can make them all. Okay, those of you who are wandering around the auction at the other table, remember standard American plays 5 card majors, so they do not open a major with 4 cards, so they would be opening their better minor. Do not worry about that. I will do a seminar on playing against American systems because it is interesting, okay, and it's important to know. Generally you just assume it's a natural bid, but the American system or strong no trump system generally play better minor. Okay, so they open a minor suit when they do not have a 5 card major and they do not have a strong no trump. Okay, that's why I prefer a weak no trump, because it's much more natural. They're tending to make unnatural bids a lot of the time. Okay. Okay, so just to show you the full hand, I'm not going to go through the play, there's nothing complicated to it. Okay, it turns out we get lucky. And what do I mean we get lucky? Well, the spades break badly. And we don't need those spades to make 1 no trump. We knocked out the ace and king of diamonds, and they maybe make their hearts, but we make 1 no trump. Okay, but as you can see here, the opponents in 2 spades, they're unlikely to make. Okay, they're likely to lose 2 trump tricks, the ace, king of diamonds and the ace, king of hearts. And so the good news is that we beat those in 2 spades. Clearly, if we decide to play on spades instead, so maybe you play the ace of spades, see the queen drop and think, great, it could be queen, jack, doubleton. If you play your ace followed by the king, you would then find that if the defense get it perfect, they could take you one off in one no trump. Okay, so instead of getting a better score, you'll end up with the same score. Okay, not easy, not necessarily an easy defense, but they can manage to take you down in one no trump if you play your spades first. So it's hard enough playing your own contract, and don't get me wrong, I do understand that, but the idea is when you're in a contract and you find that either you've got a fit, particularly when you've got a major suit fit. Okay, of course we gain when when we can open a 4-card major and find our forfeit. What generally you'll find is when you compare the two systems of a strong no trump and a weak no trump, particularly 5-card majors, is that 5-card majors find their 5-3 fits easily, whereas 4-card majors find their 4-4 fits easily. But when we have a set of hands like this, where we've opened a weak no trump, clearly East is not strong enough to bid Stayman, so we do miss our 4-4 fit here. And so what I do is when I play one no trump, I consider the other tables. Now, if I'm in my local club, or as someone's mentioning there on BBO, you can play in the ACOL club, which is in the clubs there where most people are playing ACOL, well then you'd be considering most people would have opened one no trump with his hands. So you don't really have to worry about the other tables, you just consider your own self, as it were. Playing on BBO or on holiday in France or in America or in a lot of continental places, a lot of them will be playing a strong no trump. So they will find their 4-4 spade fit. And that's what I'm suggesting here. Okay, so that was our little chat about strong no trump, as it were. And we're going to leave that. We're going to move on to defending against one no trump. So on the big seminar on the website, and all of your set hands going to be very similar. You're going to be playing one no trump contracts. And clearly the declarer is going to be trying to remember last fortnight's seminar, but the defenders are going to be focusing on a number of things, and next Monday and the Monday after we will consider some of the other aspects of defending against one no trump. And if you remember, about 3 weeks ago we had a lovely hand on on one of the teams matches, which I will bring up again, where I mentioned that I wouldn't expect whether I would have got it down myself, let alone my partner at the time, but we would have had the chance if we had had that seminar to find a way of defending it. We'll have a look at that. Okay, let's have a look. Well, I was talking about the teams. So the prize teams we've got this Wednesday. So I've set the table up. We had 2 prize winners last week. So we've got 4 prize winners playing. 2 are playing with their own partners. 1 is playing with me and 1 is playing with John. John Ronan's going to be a partner for one of them. So we should have some fun. That's at 7:30 on Wednesday. Of course, that's on the website. We will have some fun and keep it going and have a little Zoom for them afterwards. Okay, let's go to our hand evaluation hand and remind ourselves where we were there. So, first of all, before we look at the full hand, what are we estimating the hand as? Well, to me, the hand is way beyond 14. It is just a long way beyond 14. Okay, for me, it is a very good 15. So what am I doing? Well, first of all, if I have a 10 with another honour, I usually add half a point on. However, I would only add on a maximum of 1 point on for the 10s because, I just feel I might be overvaluating the hand. But bear in mind, I'm not even including the 9s in that. Now, the reason we don't add on the full thing for the 10, for instance, in King, Queen, Jack, 10 of hearts, if partner has the ace, the 10 is worthless. If it had been a small one, we'd still have the ace, King, Queen, Jack. However, in the spade suit, if your partner has 2 little spades, you have the potential of making 2 tricks in that spade suit. Whereas I took the 10 and 9 away, you had Queen, Jack, small, small. You would be thinking, well, I might make a trick from it, but I'll have to work hard. I'll have to lead it from the other hand and do this and do that. So Jack, 10, 9 of clubs. It gives you such solidity. You can take finesses. So I'm not adding points on for the 9s, but I'm excited about them in some small way. Only if the 9 is with a 10 and another higher card. But the 2 of diamonds, I probably chose the 2 deliberately kind of thing, just to exaggerate it. That is the only low card in your hand. So this is clearly A hand that for me, if you showed me, I would say 1/3 of all the 16-point hands you showed me would probably be weaker than this hand. Okay, however, I'm going to call it a very good 15 or a 15.5. But the most important thing is I am nowhere near a weak no trump. And for those of you who play a strong no trump, you would open a strong no trump with this, or you should do. You are miles beyond a weak no trump. It is much, much, much too strong. Okay, now some of you say yes, but they complain that I say 12 to 14. Generally, what we're doing when we say 12 to 14 is we're saying we are evaluating our hand as being between 12 and 14 points. This hand, I am not evaluating it between 12 and 14. You'll notice on David Stevenson's forum, someone was asking this question. They were saying, but am I really supposed to open a hand like this without, so I'm going to open this one heart, of course. I'm planning to open one heart and rebid one no trump to say, partner, I have between 15 and 17 points, because that is what I believe my hand is worth. Are you happy with that? Okay, so I believe my hand is worth between 15 and 17 points. East passes and I'm going to open one heart. Okay, and I'm going to rebid no trumps at the lowest level. Okay, clearly here partner, if partner bid spades, I would be supporting spades. Your partner's bid 2 diamonds. I'm going to show you all the hands and see if you agree with his bid. Okay, so we've opened a heart. Okay. The negatives on the hand, the fact I've got an ace is a positive. There's not really many negatives. The two 4-card suits are majors. I'm struggling to see the negatives other than the diamonds are a bit weak and my partner's bid them. Now your partner's just got 9 points. Again, he's evaluated his hand and he's decided those diamonds are worth a point. And I'm going to be honest, if I took the 10 of diamonds away and made it a small one, I probably would bid one no trump. Okay, but I think the 10 of diamonds makes it worth it. Now, I happen to have set up the hand so that the 10 of diamonds isn't worth a trick. Okay, which is unusual for me when I'm trying to set hands for me. Okay, but I think that that 2 diamonds is reasonable. I'm going to evaluate that hand as worth 10 points. And so we end up in 3 no trumps. It will go 2N from me and 3N from my partner. Now we've only got 23 high card points. Do you want to be in it? I will tell you now that double dummy you could go down, but one of the interesting things about the south hand is that it is not going to surprise me if they lead a spade against this auction. I would do, given looking at West's hand, you've got a choice between leading away from 2 kings probably, and to be honest, I would have thought leading a spade, the unbid major as it were, has got to be right, and it's likely to go a spade to the ace and a spade back. Okay, all right, okay, that's going to be the likely. So yes, it probably should go 3 hearts. I'm not bidding that. I agree with you. Q plus bid it. Okay, but I agree, Andy, that North might have bid 3 hearts with that bid. I agree, absolutely. Okay, so it would go 2 no trumps from me, and I think North should bid 3 hearts. You're quite right. And what's interesting, it's another reason for bidding 2 diamonds. Okay, another reason for North stretching to 2 diamonds is because he has 3 card support for partner's major. So I quite like the hand for that reason, because a lot of the time your partner will have 5 hearts, and now I think the hand is definitely worth 10 points. Does that make sense? So another reason for liking 2 diamonds there. Okay, so North should have invited us in hearts, and we would bid 3 no trumps at the end. So yes, the opponents can actually take. Okay, can actually take 3 no trumps down, but I just don't think they're going to. I think it's a normal contract. They'll go a spade to the ace and a spade back, and we are comfortably going to make 3 no trumps, and we're comfortably going to make 3 no trumps because we've got all of those 10s and 9s. Okay, we're going to lose, if the defense get it right, we're going to lose a club, a heart, and 2 spades. We are not going to play on diamonds because we don't need to. Okay, if they establish their clubs early, we would have to play on diamonds. But I think you've got a great chance of making this. So if I looked at those 2 hands together, south and north, I believe I want to be in 3 no trumps. So I think that is great hand evaluation. And there is no doubt that you will play, if you played with these 2 hands at a local club, you would probably have some opponents saying you were cheating, you shouldn't have been in 3 no trumps, you know, because you've only got 14 points opposite 9. But of course you're not cheating. You are evaluating your hands. The Milton work count, ace is 4, king is 3, queen is 2, jack is 1, is a wonderful system. But clearly it was invented in the 1930s. Okay, it is a basic system. And we've got to grow up and be able to expand beyond that. This south hand is a gorgeous hand, okay? And you will miss a huge number of games if you open 1 no trump with that hand. And here, of course, it will go 1 no trump, pass, pass. And you may find a lot of people making 1 no trump +2 on this hand. You may even find yourself making 3 no trumps. Excuse me. Let me have a look. 5, 8. You might even make an over trick if they don't lead clubs at all, which they might not, because East may find himself deciding to discard a diamond he shouldn't do, but they may do. So that's that one. I hope you're okay with that. Let's go back to me. I did say I'd show you this, so I'll put it up. It's another picture of me, but it's static. That's the new shirt. So that is the 3rd ebook. Okay, so that's on Amazon. You can get those at $3.99, and you can download them. You can download, of course, the Kindle app for free. So there are now 3 of our bidding quiz books. Of course, you're used to the bidding quiz now. They're quite nice if you want to have them up and about with you. Neat design. You get a question one page, the answer the next page. And it was interesting because I was looking at some ebooks today, and it does seem that a lot of people don't bother designing the books for the e-format, so they change a normal book into an ebook, and I think that's something that's important. So what I always thought with those bidding quizzes, they could really work nicely. You could have the quiz on 1 page, answer, quiz on 1 page, answer, and then of course you are not wasting paper, and that's the key. Okay. What am I doing next? I'm trying to look up here. We're going to the Q+ hand of the day, and the reason I'm doing that, I'm going to have all of these hands open. So this is our last hand. So all of the hands are open here. I know it's a bit dominant there, but because this is a hand sent in. This was a hand sent in to me, and I do love having a hand sent in. I have to say that, particularly on the theme. So this was about 1 no trump, and have a look at the south hand here. Because they'd sent in the hand and they said, how should I have played 1 no trump? But the more important thing to me here is the vulnerability. There are 4 red flags. Okay, there are 4 red flags there. Okay, which means everybody is vulnerable, and south was dealer. Okay, south was dealer. How do you feel about that one? So this is the complete contrast to the last hand I showed you, isn't it? Okay, the last south we saw was 14 points with so many 10s, so many 9s. Here, aceless and 10less, so ace 10lessness, as it were. But Ruben and Suzanne were working as a team there. But again, 4, 3, 3, 3. So at vulnerable, I have sympathy with you passing. In fact, I don't have sympathy with you passing. I want you to pass. Okay, I think Sue has got the bestlessness there, which was hopelessness. Okay, look at the honours by themselves. The Queen of Spades by themselves. The King of Diamonds by themselves. The Queen of Clubs. And why am I saying honours by themselves? Well, look at the 2 hands together. The Queen of Clubs opposite the Jack of Clubs, you don't like that holding. It's what we call a frozen suit. The Queen of Spades opposite the King of Spades. Now remember, when I've got a 4, 3, 3, 3 hand, I generally take a full point off. To me, that south hand is worth closer. I think it's worth closer to 10 than 12. I'm going to be honest, I think it's worth closer to 10 than 12. I would say it's a bad 11 points. I really would. It is ugly. If I was trying to choose a bad 12 count, I would prefer, it's close, but ace to 4, ace to 3, ace to 3, 3 small is just as bad. but it's even Stevens. At least there's 3 aces there. Okay, but it's close. So I think vulnerable, this is a good pass. Non-vulnerable, I'm happy to open 1-no trump, and this hand shows the reason. The reason why I'd open 1-no trump non-vulnerable is because I'll often go 2 off, and 2 off for minus 100 is a good score. But vulnerable 2 off is a really big disaster. Okay, don't forget third seat openings are good. When you're third in hand, you can open a suit light. Never open 1-no trump light third in hand, because what do you expect to happen to you? What do you expect to happen to you if you open third seat light? Of course, all the points are just about a W. Can you see that? So a lot of people, don't get me wrong, you're not by yourself by suggesting that. Okay, but third in hand, we might open a suit light, often for distributional thing to get in their way. But if you open 1-no trump light, of course, you're not really getting in their way. You're giving them a smile, because they're going to double with a smile. Now, what's interesting with this hand is what do you reckon East might bid? So if you do choose to open 1-no trump with South, it's going to go pass, pass. What might East bid there? Now, this is very borderline, and most of the time I think pass is completely reasonable. But because it's a pretty good 14 count, I might choose to double with that hand. I might double. And it's an aggressive action, but I might. And obviously it's going to work here. Okay. On the play, well, I think a heart lead's reasonable. I mean, from West would be on lead against 1-no trump. Okay. I'm not going to overcall with the East hand. I'm either doubling or passing, because I've got a balanced shape. Okay. On the opening lead, if West finds a heart lead, it's going to be relatively easy for the opponents to get to get you a couple off. Okay, they can make all of their diamonds and their clubs and the spades. Okay, remember, with the East hand, you don't want to be overcalling. Okay, with a 4-4 shape, generally you're going to want to play against 1-no trump, and as you can see here, that's what you'd want to be in. Interestingly, 2 off, 200 beats the score. Believe it or not, East-West can make 2 hearts, because everything sits brilliantly. You can actually make 2 hearts plus 2. You're never going to get to a game, don't get me wrong. It's 20 opposite 20. But it's interesting, because of the vulnerability, -2, 1-no trump -2 for 200 is better than 2 hearts plus 2. So from South's point of view, non-vulnerable, 2 hearts -2 could be a good score. 2 hearts -2 is a bit of a disaster. Okay. All right, so an interesting one there. So, lots to talk about. Let's look at the bidding quiz, and then I will sum up what has gone on. Here's the bidding quiz that I'm going to leave you with. We've seen an example on this theme before. I mean, obviously themes come up regularly, and I change various things here. Nice, and I think a relatively straightforward hand, I think, for you here. 3 hearts from East, and it's your response. So 3 hearts from East, which is your partner, of course, and it is your response. Okay, 3 hearts from East, and it is your response. Okay, so once again, we've been talking about 1-no trump again today, and it is one of the hardest contracts you can play, simply because you don't have information. From now on the website, we are focusing on defending. Clearly, someone's going to have to declare the contract as well, but we're going to focus on defending. Really, it's not easy, but if we can get better at it, believe me, you know, we're going to have some fun. And what I love about defense, okay, is that if you get better at it and start enjoying it more, you'll enjoy the game of bridge so much more. You can have 3 or 4 points, and you can have the most important card to play. And as you get used to that, you will start to, as I say, get passionate about defense and realize you can learn more about it. So I'm online on Wednesday playing teams. That's the prize winner teams on Wednesday, and then we're back on Friday on the website talking about week 2s. Don't forget, you can still visit us at the website if you're not with us. You can see some examples there. And in the coming week, over the coming week, we're going to be introducing the shop. The shop's already there, of course, with the ebooks taking you to Amazon, but we will be introducing the shop for stream DVDs and things like that. And we'll also be able to give you the chance, hopefully, to purchase a month for a friend. So you'll be able to buy a gift of a month on Bernard Magee Bridge as well. Hopefully, if I know some of you are still persuading your partners to come on. Okay, either you have to work harder, or we will allow you to do that by doing it on the shop. So thank you very much. Enjoy the. Do you know? I started with a grey and gloomy sky. The sun is out. The sky is blue. There's not a cloud to spoil the view, and it's not even raining in my heart. Okay, for those of you who are not, my father was a great Buddy Holly fan. Okay, and I'm sure some of you will recognise that. Thanks very much, and we will see you soon.